All right, everyone. So now it's time for the interview segment of the podcast, which I call Better Things to Do because most of the people I interview have better things to do. But they take the time to stop and talk to me anyway. It must just be my charm. Anyway, so I was at Holiday of Play put on by the Toy Insider a couple of weeks ago, and aside the usual next action figures, next wave of, the hottest toy lines, every so often there are those little unique products that I go away not being able to stop talking about. And I found one of those, and the people behind it were nice enough to agree to join me here so that they can tell all of you about it and hopefully crash their website with pre-orders. So the company name is Huge Play. I got that right, Kevin?
You've got that right, Rob. Yes.
So it's a brand new company called Huge Play, and they have this extraordinary product called GameBud Talking Tom. And I had never heard of it before I went to Holiday of Play, but now I cannot stop talking about it. And so to help me talk about it is one of the owners of the company, Kevin Mowrer. Kevin, welcome to Geeking Out About.
Well, thank you, Rob, and thank you so much for inviting me here to talk to you about not only our company, but this remarkable little character here, piece of living game gear, whose name is GameBud Talking Tom.
I feel like I've done nothing but talk about Tom since I came home from Holiday of Play.
That is awesome. He not only has a lot to say, but definitely there is a lot to say about him because he's kind of a breakthrough in functionality with gaming. He's also a breakthrough in terms of depth of play. He's a remarkable little technological marvel.
Yeah, he's really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk about where he came from and what exactly he does and where he fits in the sort of toy spectrum.
Fantastic. So first I'll start with telling you about GameBud Talking Tom, and then I'll give you a couple of moments about us, about Huge Play, because in company terms, we're just about as different as this little guy is in the world of game gear. And I use the phrase game gear when I talk about him versus calling him a toy, because he's not a toy. What he does is he has a remarkable chipset, robotics controls, AI, all inside of this remarkable little head. There's quite a few patents involved in this little guy. And what all this enables him to do is he actually live connects wirelessly to your mobile gaming. And in this case, because of course, it's Talking Tom is the fun character that we have for this first GameBud, that he ships connecting to two of the extremely popular Talking Tom games. Hero Dash and Gold Run are the two games. So,
wow. Congrats!
Well, thank you.
You used my favorite symmetrical word.
Fantastic. And as you can see, he does have a whole heck of a lot to say. And when he connects to your game, as you're actually playing the game, what he does is he acts as a streamer. Anything that's happening in the game, if you're running along and you're in one of these endless runners and you're dodging something, or you got to watch out for a boss, or there's something you need to be careful about, he's actually coaching you as you play real time, because everything that happens in the game live, he knows live, and the AI's working like in little tiny nanoseconds to work that out and actually help you. But then he's also reacting to things that are happening. Like if you slam into something, he's going to know that you slammed into it, and he's going to have something.
Taking a lot of damage. Where's the ice pack?
As a good example, it's that kind of comments that he makes, and he's not only very fun, but he really does very quickly become like this best buddy that you're hanging out with to actually play your game with. And then he also remembers, you know, how much loot you've gathered. He remembers how well you did in the game. He actually has the personality of the character, you know, Tom, directly out of the game, who is a wonderful character. You know, it's really sort of written the script, and there's 5 hours of compressed content in his head. The script that's written here is really for all family. So he's super appropriate, but at the same time, he's also kind of sassy and fun. But
It
when you
won't be
shut
swearing or anything.
oh no, none of that at all. None of that at all. It really is appropriate for virtually everybody, and everybody has fun with him. But when you shut the game off, then there are 2 other modes. One is a free play mode, where literally he starts talking to you, and depending on how you answer him and this conversation you start having back and forth, the AI turns it into one of thousands and thousands of different interactions and conversations and stories and jokes and you name it. And they're funny and a lot of fun. And the third mode is actually done through the pairing app that allows you to pair him to the game. And it's the command mode. It's basically a soundboard that allows you to choose a bunch of different categories to choose from of acting sequences. And then under each of those, there's a whole bunch of different choices you can make. So you can literally create your own content and make him say exactly what you wanted to say when you wanted to say it. So very, very rich interaction with this living piece of game gear.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just remember being absolutely blown away with it when I saw it. The amount of interactivity and the amount of different, you know, paths to go down with him is just extraordinary.
Thank you so much. And in fact, you know, it doesn't actually even stop there. Once you have GameBud Talking Tom home, there's even the same way in your game, there's DLC, downloadable content. This is really the first animatronic figure that has DLC. So there's all kinds of fun additional content that you can bring into this. That's holiday content, birthday content, content relative to the weather. You know, create your own victory song where you interactively work with him and build the beats, build what it is that the song is. You can taunt people that you win against using your victory song. You can make hundreds of different songs. So so even that is really a big breakthrough, that this is a physical robotic character that has DLC.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all the stuff that you guys talked about at Holiday, but it's just such an impressive piece of technology for the size of it. Like it's not terribly large. So for the size of it, it's just extraordinary.
Yep.
The amount of technology inside of him is just mind-boggling. It's a very
100%.
very sophisticated piece of very cute looking technology.
Well, and part of the goal here was to make the technology extraordinary, make the experience amazing. Honestly, this is what we founded our new company, Huge Play, around, was this idea of we really didn't feel that, you know, for the most part, that there wasn't being products and play necessarily delivered beyond gaming that had tremendous depth. You know, it tended to be you spent X amount of money and you get something and it does what it does and you've worked your way through all of it in 5 minutes, right? And so we said, no, we need to change the way this is being done. And part of that is, you know, we're crazy fans of all kinds of stuff, including gaming. But we wanted to make things that we were going to sell only directly to fans. So you can't buy this at a Walmart. You can't buy this at any brick and mortar. You can't even buy it at Amazon. You buy it at our direct-to-fan location, which is GameBud.com. And this meant that since we own the store, and we're not basically paying everybody else in that supply chain, if you will, that all that funds go back here. So something that we sell, this retails for $99. If somebody else was making it and they were selling it at a Walmart, this would be well north of $200
Oh,
to
yeah.
get this much play.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, speaking of supply chain, since we broached the subject, obviously supply chain is interesting at the moment. Getting stuff both to retail stores and to consumers. The mail's all messed up. What you made a very bold promise at Holiday of Play that the first ones that you were putting up for pre-order were going to be under trees for the people who ordered them. Can you talk about how you've secured the ability to deliver on that promise?
Absolutely, Rob. And you're right on. Right now, it's all over the news everywhere, in the US, but not just the US.
Awful.
It's terrible. The giant backups at the port, giant backups in the overland shipping for the trucks from the port. They're talking the length of time to sort of unsnarl that likely puts many of those products past Christmas when you'll receive them. So if you haven't ordered already and it's not already there, even then it's dicey. But if you're ordering in a couple of weeks, it's going to be super tough. However, what we did is, again, because we're really doing this for fans, for people who love this as much as we do, is we've made a very strong commitment to airship every single one of the first 10,000 of these out to fans that buy them in our pre-sale, and the pre-sale is live at GameBud.com. But we're going to airship it. So we're going to bypass all that port mess. We're going to bring them in a different place in the country and in Canada. And for that first 10,000 of sales, that means that we've taken the odds that you're going to get it up so much higher that it'll be under your tree. And we're super excited about that. But yeah, it's extraordinary measures for extraordinary times. And the last thing I wanted to say about that first 10,000 is because we also love to collect stuff. If you look around me, you can see what life is like. So on that first 10,000, we actually are not only giving it a number and the guaranteed certificate that comes along with it. But one of the games that he plays in is Hero Dash, and we have a fantastic
It's a cool mask
that actually comes with it. Only the first 10,000. After the first 10,000, there's not going to be any mask, and there's not going to be any numbered piece. And of course, if we get super close to Christmas, we're still going to be air shipping them. But I would encourage anybody who has any interest to get in a little earlier so that we can really make sure it's under your tree with that air shipping.
I was gonna say, have you guys come up with an absolute order by date so that it's a definitely a Christmas guarantee?
We don't have a definite order by date. But you definitely don't want to be within, just a couple of weeks of Christmas if what you want to do is just guarantee you're going to have it under the tree.
Have you been told approximately how long the shipping is going to take, give or take a day or so?
Well, and there's a couple different legs to it. There's the factory to the airport, and then there's the airport to here, and then there's the here to your door. And that whole process, because we're doing the air shipping and the air freighting, is less than a couple of weeks. So we haven't seen where that has backed up yet. The good thing is they just put on more planes when they have to ship more. So we're as I said, super positive that it's and feeling very good that that's really ups our ability to get it to people.
That's great.
Now that's sweet.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it's great to hear because like I said, obviously, like it's it's very hard to tell people when to expect something, like in terms of store availability. Um, it's like, well, it's supposed to be here this day, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be here this day.
And everybody's, all pun intended, everybody's in that boat right now.
That boat, and the one behind it, and the one behind it, and the one behind it, and the one behind
exactly. And you could keep going for like an hour.
Yeah.
And you still would probably be short of a count. But that
I will say I'm very excited about the new initiatives that they just announced. About keeping the ports open 24/7, and the union agreeing to that so that can go forward, and a lot of companies agreeing to ship more of their freight by night to avoid traffic, and those kind of snarls with the trucking and everything. So it is looking more hopeful than it was.
I agree. We're still going to stick with air shipping just because, and I do hope, by the way, not just for our product, I do hope it works. There's nothing like Christmas. There's nothing like the presents under the tree. We would want as many of those to get under trees as is humanly possible. We're just taking the step to try to make that a whole lot more certain than doing it by shipping it over the water.
I just want to make it clear to people as we're talking about this, the 10,000 numbered GameBuds that will be going out. That is just the initial release. That is not to say there are only going to be 10,000 of them ever, and that's it. we want to make exactly that perfectly clear to people that these are literally just the beginning. It's just the initial push out. There will be more GameBuds past the initial 10,000.
Absolutely. We can just keep making these and keep making these. The group of people that got together to make Huge Play are all very, very experienced at making play products. And we are lined up and working with just very, very proven, excellent partners all over the world for the various parts of this, and for the manufacture, same thing. So our ability to just keep making them is great. So yes,
Roger that.
Roger that.
Now, are you planning to ship them worldwide? Do you have
initially it's going to be North America, which is US and Canada. There's no question, though, that as we move into next year, we'll be opening up virtually all the other territories as well. In fact, I'm co-CEO. The other CEO of the company, Adrian Roche, actually in just a few weeks is heading to Europe to have a whole series of those meetings. So yes, this will be a worldwide product. We hope a worldwide phenomenon. But absolutely, this will be not only moved around the world, but it's also going to be localized. It will be in quite a number of different languages, which is always interesting because there's a lot of humor in there, and we're very carefully making sure we're working with the right creatives all around the world who aren't just going to translate the joke. They're going to make sure the humor works wherever it is. This is going to be
every time I hear someone say they have to translate humor, all I can think of is the Monty Python sketch where the guy has the Hungarian dictionary.
Stop cracking up here.
My hovercraft is full of eels. That's all I can think of when.
And you're right. That's one way to do it.
The second thing that always pops into my head is all your base are belong to us.
Exactly. So
Localization can be such an interesting little thing.
it can. You actually need to get. It's not just translating. It's in most cases. It's especially if it's humor, you have to rewrite it, and there are cultural elements that
Yeah.
are in jokes that you have to change. So we've got that all in place for when we actually move into many of the other territories.
Now, for the other territories, when you move into the other territories and you do the localized ones, will you do another limited edition launch for the localized ones?
Likely, yes. We want to give each of the territories the opportunity to have that collectible first 10,000 in the language that's appropriate for that territory.
And would you plan on including like something instead of like a mask, like for like say France, would you put like a beret in with him instead of a mask, or something to denote it as like the French one? Uh,
That's actually not a bad idea. We hadn't thought about that. We were focusing on the mask so that it matches up with one of the games, because that's the mask he wears in one of the wonderful games that connect up to him.
you can work
But
out what my consulting cut will be later.
exactly. Yeah, 10,000 berets.
Not like a sombrero for Mexico or something like that.
The fun thing is that also because he's wireless and he has such a gigundicus chip in his head that is very fast, he's for us, he's infinitely updatable. So we're going to add a third game, probably as we go forward, even a fourth game. He does have DLC that he can download, as we were talking.
You guys make the games too?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
You guys make the games?
Oh, no, we
No.
don't. The games are actually made by our partner, that's Outfit 7, who
Okay.
actually owns and creates all of the Talking Tom and
Okay.
Friends videos, the games. Frankly, they're expanding wildly because the characters are doing incredibly well. I don't know if you knew this, but they've had like literally billions and billions of downloads. It's been
I've
downloaded
heard they're very popular apps.
like 1.5 times for every human being on the planet. That's a
I've
lot of
heard,
downloads.
I've heard they're very popular apps.
They are. They are.
The so now did they come to you and say, we'd like to make Tom quote unquote real? Can you do that? Or like did you go to them and pitch? Like did you see the games and be like, we think this character would be perfect for our new AI thing that we're working on, would you give us the license to make him?
Well, this actually, the way this came to be with them was we conceptualized it first. There was an invention team that came together to innovate. And we started thinking about what would be a great first license. And we also, one of our other partners is this marvelous company called Epic Story Media that is both a licensing but also an entertainment development company. And they saw this and said, boy, you have to talk to the folks at Outfit 7. And we showed it to them. They loved the idea. Frankly, we loved their characters. It couldn't ask for a better character to do this with. And literally, it was kind of a love fest, and we made it happen. And everybody marched forward, and we created the personality, the product. Worked with them closely on the scripting, found the voice talent, and turned it into the first GameBud Talking Tom.
Now, when when you pitched it to them, obviously he didn't look like Tom yet because you needed them to get on board with the licensing.
Well, we actually take a little different approach. When
So
we
you made
started
it right.
prototyping,
Wow.
yeah, when we started prototyping, we had already identified them through Epic, and said, oh, all right, let's prototype Tom. And so when we were
Let's
showing
go
them,
for it and hope they like it.
absolutely, I mean, yeah, they saw a sketch first, they heard the pitch, but what really sort of made it come all together was when, I mean, you're seeing bits and pieces back here of early shells
Oh, wow.
and prototypes. I mean, we
Still
have
the prototypes.
the entire history of him is parts of it are sitting back here on my shelf.
That looks so creepy with no eyes.
It does, I'm afraid.
It really does. It's so creepy.
I should probably pop the eyes in there, but it's I gotta say, it's a super interesting and fun process to invent, because once you start having something that's functioning, there's this is again something we do very different. We start discovering all the things it can do, and then we add them instead of cost reduce them out. That's why it's got such depth of play.
Now, so one of the things about him that I find amazing is that he has he's just sort of, he's almost like a giant Funko figure. Like his arms don't move, his legs don't move, his head doesn't move. It's
Well,
just it's literally the personality thing.
The only way his arms move is if I press his head, which is just a reset. You see his arms move?
Right.
Who plays zombie games have to be smart. They're in it for the brains.
So if you ever want to just change up his content and get him rolling again, you just press his head and he'll say something else, press his head, and he'll start a story, press his head, he'll go into a different mode. But yeah, he's the rest of him doesn't move. I'm not going to promise that we're not going to be doing that in a version 2.0 or 3.0. But right now we said we wanted to put the vast majority of the money into the smarts, into the head.
I mean, it's really a remarkable testament to how amazing a product he is, that nothing from the head down moves and it doesn't matter. Like it's a remarkable testament to what an amazing product it is, that it doesn't, it's all in the head and the face and the mouth, and it's extraordinary. It really is an extraordinary product.
Thank you. It's part of the reason we very early on said, oh my goodness, we want to do Talking Tom, because he also has ears, right? And those are so expressive. So we get these highly patented eyes that we put in there.
His eyes are amazing.
Thank you. Well, there's two very high quality LCDs, not one, two, inside of his head. And we actually created all the animations for the eyes, so that depending on what he's talking about, it's a bit like watching anime, where you're getting explosions and sparkles and, exclamation points and the whole bit. So, because when you look at a human being, you look at their eyes so much, right?
Well, and it's really funny because, obviously I was sent a press release before Holiday of Play, but that press release only has a photo in it. And try as you might, you can't make a photo's eyes move. So like when I came to the table and saw him, and then like 10 seconds after seeing him, his eyes started moving and blinking, I was like, oh my God. And then like you ran through the other stuff, and like I said, I haven't been able to stop talking about him since Holiday of Play. Like I've told dozens of people about him.
Thank you so much. We really,
I was like, just go to this website and thank me later.
Especially if you get one of the first 10,000.
I was like, just go to this website, order one, wait for it to come, and thank me later.
We've literally already had people go to the website and get two. One that they're not opening the box at all, and then the second one that they're taking out and they're just
which is odd because you won't know what number you get unless you open them.
Exactly. I mean, it'll definitely, and they're not getting mixed up. They're going out sequential, but it's you don't know what number it is until you open it up. But any of those first 10,000, those are the ones that are gonna, because that's how it gains value.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Full disclosure here for everyone. they are going to send me one. I will be able to put it through its paces, and I am very, very excited about getting the sample of this. It's a really, like I said, it's a very, very remarkable product. It is unlike anything out there, and that is probably one of the biggest testaments to to how successful your new venture is, because it is very, very hard, especially now after all these years, to find something, to find some niche in the, the toy, industry that hasn't been touched. Like it's very hard to put your foot in that door and not step on something else.
I think that's really, really true, which is why the first innovation that we knew we had to land and get right was how we were setting up our company and how we were going to do business, because that's actually enabled everything else. He wouldn't have happened if we didn't decide early on we were only going to do direct to fan. And so honestly, the fans' desires to have something deeper was a gift back to us to kind of say, guys, think harder about how to set this up so that you can invest heavily in making something that's breakthrough. And we do have a product 2, product 3 already sort of on the drawing board, but right
I've
now
heard you have very ambitious expansion plans.
we do, and there will be a whole
None of
series
which we can talk
announcements.
about right now.
Unfortunately, no other than to say one of our moves next year is we are moving with this product line into PC, and that's going to be seriously cool.
I've been told that. I have also been told that there are some other very ambitious, very exciting licensing opportunities that exist and that will be coming to fruition next year, and that as soon as I am able to talk about them, I will probably not be able to shut up about them.
Yes, you'll be on the top of our list. We'll give you the top.
I'm very excited. I have to, like I said, I've been in the toy media bit for 20 years now, and I still love going to Toy Fair and going to Holiday of Play and seeing what's next. But as the years have gone on, I've found myself seeking out the things that are different. And most of the times they are smaller companies, but the products are just spectacular. Like, I'll just very quickly shout out my friends at I Am Elemental. They were doing very atypical action figures, but they were good, and the story behind them was great, and their mission statement is fantastic, and they're very nice people. And so, like, I went out of my way to talk about them to everyone I thought would be interested in their products, because they're really good. And so, it was sort of, I think, to your advantage that Holiday of Play was smaller than it normally is this year, because you were able to stand out a lot more. Like, if they had had the full blown Holiday of Play, I think it would have been, I don't think you would have had any trouble still attracting attention, but I think it would have been more of a people had to keep their head on a swivel type of thing, because there's a booth over here, there's a booth over there, there's a booth over there, there's a booth over there,
Right.
And I also am so happy that Holiday of Play was in person, because your presentation would not have come off the same on Zoom. I mean, it still would have been an incredibly impressive presentation. There's no way to not make Tom impressive, but I think the fact that people were able to step right up to it and see it do its thing right in front of them, without a screen as a barrier, was an enormous help for you guys.
I totally agree, Rob. There's it's like meeting a person. Is when you meet somebody, in this case it is a somebody in person, it's a totally different experience than if you see a picture or if you see a video of them. And we've worked very hard to make this character emotionally connective and brightly funny. So there's just something about when you meet him in person.
Personalities, just
Yeah, that's the right word, personality, for sure.
he reminds me of my 9-year-old nephew.
Sounds about right.
Totally reminds me of my 9-year-old nephew,
Fantastic.
who I can't wait to show this to. Now I know he connects to the two games that that they've made. Does he, like, if you put him in front of like a PlayStation or something? I know he has Bluetooth, right? That's how he connects to.
Yes, he has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, both.
Is he able to interpret what you're doing on like a bigger screen, like with a different, like with a game system, or?
Well, we have at the moment his primary connection, his connection is to the Talking Tom games on mobile. But I can't give it away here, but we have a big announcement coming out before the end of the year that I think you'll be incredibly excited about. And it has to do with that kind of question that you just asked. So promise that we will share it with you. And as we've been talking, there's some big things coming, and they're coming quickly.
All I can imagine is like playing Fortnite and like having him sit there and like rag on your friends as you're playing Fortnite over the IP.
100%. To me, that's the experience, is playing and you're having a blast. And all those of us that game, we love to watch streamers because they're entertaining, and what they say and do is not only helpful, but it's really funny and kind of slightly outrageous. And we wanted to bring that experience to life with your favorite character, and literally that's exactly what he does. This is like having that friend who you just can't wait to have come over and game, because they make you laugh and they make gaming better.
I can just imagine playing like Call of Duty with him or something, and like him going, "Don't go in that building. Don't go around that corner."
Oh my gosh, you have no idea what I want to tell you, but I can't. I promise we'll be back.
Yeah, just like the first time I heard that he had Bluetooth and connected to games, that's like all I thought about. Like like playing Mario with him sitting inside and going, "Don't jump that way, jump left, not right." It's just like stuff like that where he, almost like where he like gets inside the game code and he can give you tips on how to, beat the game and stuff.
It's in the future. That's and I mean short. That is absolutely what the GameBuds are going to be able to do.
Amazing.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like that, he's impressive alone. But if you were able to implement that, that would really change. Like, no pun intended, change the game. Like, I mean, it would almost be like taking like every hint book ever made and just putting it in someone's head and then having that thing sit next to you.
Well,
like
I mean,
a personal strategy guide.
You've nailed it. I think your thinking is right on, right? Is all of that exists on iPads or through your phone or through the book that you buy, and it's all reference material, right? And or it's like a good friend telling you, walking you through the game. All, there's so many different ways for you to sort of track all of that. But it's a real simple, hard to do, but a simple answer would be, but what if you had somebody that did all that?
I mean, it, like I said, it's it would have been unheard of up to this point. Because there are other, I mean, there are other similar items to talk, like, you know, WoWie has had the Robo Sapien and they've had the MIP, and they had, you know, obviously they had like the interactive things like the Hatchimals and the, you know, the present pets and, you know, stuff like that you interact with and that interact with you. But there's nothing that's ever quite been on the scale of, you know, actually tailoring its responses on the fly based on what you're saying to it or the inputs you're giving. Like, there's I can't remember there ever being a toy where you could have like a sustained
Honestly,
conversation with.
love to dream. Love dreaming.
He's
about gaming.
I haven't played with him in a period of time, and now he's going to sleep. So
Yeah, the you know, I can't ever remember there being a toy where you could actually like have a sustained conversation with it, and the toy would like on the fly tailor responses and build a conversation like this.
you know, but think about it. We live in the age of Alexa.
Oh yeah,
Right. So AI that good, that's even better, is not only possible, but we've felt has just been waiting for the right group to come along. We hope it's us.
I really think the big
make it
difference
work.
between him and Alexa and Siri and all of those ilk is that he has a personality. Like, he doesn't, it's not just, you know, it's not just the response, it's the way the response is delivered.
Right.
And the reactions to what you say to him and what he says back to you, and how the conversation goes on and on and on. And you know, it's his ability to react to situations the way that we would react to them that I think sets him apart.
100%. Understanding is the technology, but personality is the experience you love.
I mean, that was one of the things that struck me most. You know, when I felt, like I said, it reminds me of my 9-year-old nephew. Like, he's
Perfect.
literally like a kid, and so you talk to him like, you know, like an almost like 10-year-old, and he talks back to you like an almost 10-year-old, you know, and like it's like relating to my nephew.
Think back quite a few years when Furby first launched, and it had very, very, very simple programming. It didn't say or do that many things, but there was a progression to it. And because it was wrapped up in a character, and the progression was based on your interaction with him, that wasn't just factual, it was care, right? In this case, it's game and fun, right? But even that super simple product, people fell in love with it. And now we have the ability to have something that just is really smart and can understand what you're saying, and can have conversations with you, and can play with you in the game, but it's not a Skylander. It's not like having a USB that's a figure
Right.
that just remembers your game. This is like literally, it's a personality. That's the right word. So you said it best.
It's really amazing, and like, we could spend forever going through all the things he did. I didn't want to start down that road because it's very hard to stop once you do. But if you would like to see all of the stuff that he can do, and once you do that, if you would, and I know you will, want to get one for yourself, it is GameBud.com. And again, they are air freighting them, and they are guaranteeing if you order within the next 3 weeks or so.
It's probably closer to 4 weeks, but yes.
Within the next 4 weeks, that it will be under your tree this holiday season. And with supply chain being what it is amazing that anyone can guarantee that anything is going to be anywhere. So please go to GameBud.com. Take a look at everything that Tom can do, and order one, because they are really great. And we were talking about circumstances that would be unheard of, for any kind of interactive gaming experience coming to pass. And like I said, no pun intended, if even half of what I'm thinking of happens with this product, it is, no pun intended, going to change the game. And everyone who has a gaming system and friends is going to want one. So get yours before the first 10,000 run out, and you can say that you were there when it all started. Kevin, thank you so much. I wish I could talk to you forever and ever and ever, because this is so fascinating. We will probably have to do like another one of these or two of these before this comes out, because there's so much to deep dive with him.
Awesome. Let's do that. And again, you'll some point soon you will have one in your hands, so you
I
can.
can't wait. Like, I
You
literally
don't have to take my word for it. Literally, you'll play your way through an amazing, deep, long-term experience, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, I am literally planning on marking my calendar as soon as I get my shipping date.
Awesome.
It
Awesome.
is definitely a highlight for me. And you guys know that I'm not prone to hyperbole. So like, if I say it's good, it's good. Kevin, thank you so much. All the best, man.